next Monday. Mondays are our parenting podcast, and not parenting like where we're like talking about parenting. Mondays are parenting more like, a lot of us sit around. So funny because so many parents think they're unique in their struggles they're like,
started
no.
that, right?
Yeah. Okay. They're like, well, but it's so-and-so. Like so-and-so, it's so-and-so. We're all guilty of it. We've all done it. Everyone thinks their child is uniquely different.
Or their situation is different than someone else's. So they're like, yeah, but my daughter's actually in grade 2 and her teacher is 46 and a half years old and we live in the southeast part. So therefore, the girl that's bullying...
It's all the same shit in a way. And I always tell my children that if there was not a textbook and you couldn't go to school for psychiatry, therapy, and social work and every other type of mental conundrum,
like so many countries,
you're not alone. Like if you can actually write about it, then if there's a way
right.
So many people have it. It's in a textbook.
I know.
So
That's
anxiety
so hard for kids like teenagers to understand, and then also parents, because you actually think
it's your first time.
It's your first time.
It is your first time.
So it's your first experience.
It's your first time, and you uniquely know your child.
Yeah.
So you uniquely feel like that is it's so much more personal.
Yeah.
When it's you.
Yeah.
Rather than.
And nothing is better than like talking to a community of other moms. I mean, that's exactly how Kat and I started, and how we realized that there's so many people that needed to talk about things, is because when you have a community of moms that are all talking together, at first she'll be like, you might be saying like, oh, it's not like me. And then someone says something, you're like, oh my gosh, I can totally relate to that. Then you get in a conversation with them. Then somebody else listens over and it's like, wait, I didn't have that, but I have that. And the more you talk, it's like you really just need to feel not alone.
It's so I saw a meme, and I guess not a meme. I saw like a poster on Instagram where some people were talking about the fires and how some people were like, oh my God, it's just rich people who lost their house. It's not a big deal. And it was like, listen, it's not just about how much money people have lost their homes. The rebuild will be very different from very many people. I'm not talking about the rebuild. It's the same feeling though, as if you lost your house, no matter how big or how small, and the things that were in it that matter to you. If that was your primary home, let's say you have 6 homes. Yes, it makes it easier to recover. Maybe, but if your community where your kids went to school and their life and,
and their parks and their community center, it sounds like
your neighbor,
all the people that they're talking about who have lost, they're not talking about their material possessions. They're talking about their community.
And I thought, it's the same. Just because someone has more money or less money, their feelings toward, just because maybe someone's house is one room and doesn't have multi-million dollars of things in it, the loss isn't more or less. Rebuild, different story. Can some people park it at the Four Seasons? 100%. Can some people have literally nowhere to go? 100%. But the feeling of loss of your house is very similar, because loss is a feeling that we can all experience, and you can't compare your loss. It's just loss is loss.
It's like I was just watching the Beast Games just came out, and there's like this one, in these kind of shows when there's challenges and people have to be eliminated, it's so much about like humans.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about the game, it's not about the money, it's about how we are as humans and what part we play in part of a community, and like that not all of us are the same. And in one part it was like, you have to get in a room with 3 people and somebody needs to be eliminated or you all will be.
Ooh.
And, one of them started off by saying, okay, well, like my dad died. It's like, we could go through all of your traumas and we could all try and compare to each other. But like yours is not going to be worse than mine, because my life has I have a different experience than you. So, if you break whatever it is, it's all relative to that person's experience in life. So, and it was just like they say so many things in those moments that make you realize like, yeah, I mean, we are all special. We are all one of a kind.
Yeah. And just because someone has something that you can't relate to or doesn't have something that you relate to, it doesn't mean it's not it doesn't mean it's something that doesn't mean something to them. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So I like parenting is very much the same, and the best thing you can do or not do is compare your journey as you having it worse, or your kid being worse off, or your kid being better off, because it's all relative in the circumstance of where you're at. And listen, everyone is going to have a hard time. Everybody in parenthood is gonna, because someone's like, oh, I was talking to someone over the break and like, I really feel like I'm in a really great spot. And I'm like, I love this spot and I love parenting here. And I'm like nervous for this to end. And I said, the thing is, maybe this is what you love. This is the part of parenting you love, because this age might be terrible for other people. They love the baby phase. And maybe some people like every phase. There's no bad phase if you love it, but someone might be like, that is the worst phase. But for us, that's why I'm like, don't listen to everybody, because your phase is different than their phase of your season. You like fall and you like summer.
Yeah.
That is parenting.
And I'm like, we all know, and you might be guilty of it and you can't help it, and that's fine too, but we all know those people. It was in the beginning, like, my kid wakes up more, my kid cries more, my birth was the hardest, my pregnancy, but I had this and I had this, and you want to build it up because your experience was hard and you want to be acknowledged for your hard experience. But like, comparing to your friends,
I know,
and everything like that, it's like, you go ahead and do it, but really when you find a common ground and appreciate that all of this is hard in different ways, different people,
for different people, but
it's all a struggle, and doing it alone just makes it harder.
Do you know what I'm having a hard time with right now?
Tell.
I'm having a hard time with validating my kids' dreams, but then because I don't want to squash them, because I want them to believe anything's possible for themselves. But then I'm like, there's a reality. But
I feel like we had a parenting expert on one time and was like, life will teach them reality. So they'll get to a point and they're like, it's.
You know what it is? My daughter really, really, really wants to go to school in America. Like, it is her dream. It's her dream. I don't know why. She's talked about it. I really, really, really don't want her to. I really don't want her to. I really think we have great universities here. I really think that, anyways, I could go on. It's not my dream. It's her dream. And well, number one, the cost is so much. But
well, that's what I was talking to one person. I was saying, like, is anybody going to American universities? The reality is almost every Torontonian or cold weather student would like to go to a warm climate if they could.
I guess. I mean, some people
maybe they'd want to go to Vermont because they want to go skiing.
Some people want to go for their program.
Well, there's amazing programs everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless you're in a really specialized program. The reality is money.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And being able to get in.
And being able to get in. Okay. But like,
because
kids,
America feels harder than for if you're not just going to like the local, like, if you're going to the schools where everyone talks about, like, where they wear the parents wear the sweatshirts, like they go to, I don't even know what they're called.
And there are
Duke.
so many of those, the schools that everybody knows, and there's so many great schools. And it's funny because when my brother-in-law was applying to American colleges, as a Canadian, I only knew the ones that like had teams or were like, I think it's like the Ivy League schools or something, the ones we over here hear about. But then
or that are on movies.
In movies and stuff like that.
Harvard Law.
So
that's Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah. And like and so I remember being like to my brother-in-law, go to that one. I've heard of that one. I've never heard of that one,
Yeah.
As if that matters at all. No.
Yeah.
But the reality is, because
she's like, I will apply for scholarships. I'm like, go crazy. She thinks there's a will and a way. Like, she is like, I will.
I guess if most children will be told, that's too expensive.
Unless she can get some funding for it.
Oh, right. But you won't get full funding for it.
Well, I mean, but do I let her go through the process?
Yeah, and I would research it before so she's not disappointed.
I mean,
prepare
or give her a budget.
And yes, and then prepare to say.
I mean, realistically, not every school is a Harvard, and not every school has a tuition that a Harvard has. So like, there are different options. It's what do you want from that school, and that's the reality of what she has to sit down and figure out. But for me, I don't want her to go to America because I think that it's a different experience. And I think that there's something, you kind of make your friends forever in university and college. And I want her to come home. Like, I don't want her to leave. I don't want her to stay there. I don't want to, but I also don't want to, like, she's like, I want to be a lawyer. I'm like, that is so boring, but I don't want to say it's boring. So I'm trying to be like, when they say stuff and you're like, okay, because a lot of people are like, well, if do you want to, you put your life experience back on them. You're like, and you want to be an accountant? That's so fucking boring. You want to crunch numbers?
You don't have to burst any bubbles. If she's smart enough and realistic enough and does her research, she'll come to her own conclusions.
Oh, she just booked an appointment with a university counselor for America and Canada. I was like, wow.
So, but if she goes down the process and she knows she has the marks and she could get a bit of a scholarship, and nobody's told her you can't go, like we can't afford it. Like most parents would be like, that's not ever going to be a realistic financial, because that's reality.
Yeah.
Then of course she's going to continue to look into it.
Yeah.
And having a dream of that, and your parents never telling you they can't afford it, then she'll continue to dream.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I can't afford it. He can't afford it, but is she? She's looking for someone, and will she find it? Maybe knowing her, she'll find it. Knowing her, but I guess that's a then problem because we're only in grade 10. But I do often.
It's total financial, and she knows there's someone out there that might pay for it.
Also, I think that's the other thing. I like my own opinions, but I have to make sure that everything is. I mean, you parents out there, I'm sure you've had this thing where you don't want your kid to go to the school that you didn't go. Like, I know people have a thing where they want their kids to go somewhere, especially in the States where you went there because
your alma mater.
Well, my friend told me that, who went to school in America, that they take care of their alumni. Like the alumni take care of. You're like in the thing, and they'll write letters for you. Like you are like part of a community.
Yes.
So I'm sure parents are like, you should go here because I'm the alumnum.
And I feel like American people, they like, because there's so many schools to come from, and they feel such a part of their school that they want their kids to go there.
Yeah, and they had a great experience.
And you know what? Maybe that's really nice. You know, like the kids are going to a school that they're already familiar with.
Well, I never went to I went to like a Canadian university, but I lived at home. Like I didn't do Canada. I did not do a Canadian university properly. I do not have an experience where I went and lived with people that my own age. Like I don't have
the three of us, you, your husband, you and I didn't.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't have that. So I have nothing. I have no attachment to anything.
Me neither.
I don't wish for her to go live somewhere or be something with somebody. I don't want her to be in a whatever. I don't even know what sorority to say would be part of. I have none of that. No attachment other than a reality of like why, what's your why and where's your where and what's your how. However, whenever the conversation comes up, I get like hives. I'm just like, oh my God, because I guess I have some research to do now.
I actually think she does.
No, she does.
I think that you sit
into
there.
the bank account.
I just mean like, you're so right. Why would anybody want to go somewhere unless it's just to say you went?
The only reason I would say would be really fun would to be go. I don't know what they're called. My friend who went there told me you go to a school that has like the Division 1. Is it Division 1? Because the games are. We don't have that in Canada. We don't have Division 1 sports. Maybe we do now, but when we were growing up, there was no.
But also D2 sports, D3 sports. They're all really good at these schools.
Like sports schools where you go and have like a big like the games where it's like Michigan. Let's say you not just going to Michigan, but if you're Michigan, the experience of if you're gonna go to America, go somewhere where there's something where you get different experience and just going because.
But just so you know, they don't have to be D1 schools to have.
Right, I don't even know the Ds. Whatever.
Because like probably like a D3 school are still really good athletes.
Right, and they do like the Friday Night Lights,
all the things.
Right, so some schools don't have that though. Like one school my friend went to doesn't have. There's no. You don't go for sports. You go for water skiing.
So definitely go to watch sports games.
Now, like go for something you can't get here. If you're gonna go, like don't go to a school. Let's just say in Long Island because it's in Long Island and it doesn't have something different than you can get here. Like go for a different experience altogether, at least to go learn something totally.
I would say choose War Mother.
I know.
If someone's paying for my education, I'm going to War Mother.
I know.
100%.
I know. Anyways, there's a lot to unpack here.
I'd go to California. Well, maybe not today, but I would go to California. Or University of Miami.
You're very close to university. Like next year is your year for the first kid. Guys, next year we have one kid who has to apply to university and we'll get into a university next year.
My husband said, do you think she'll take a gap year? Because she's a December baby. And I was like, I mean, she absolutely could. It doesn't sound like that's the plan, and I would be all for it.
There's a prep year. The Americans go to the prep year.
Yeah.
We don't have a prep year here.
Yeah.
But I'm like, prep school? You can go to prep school for a year and go like, maybe she does that. That's a nice happy medium.
Yeah, but that costs money.
I mean, cheaper than university. It's just prep school.
I don't know about
cheaper
that.
than college. I mean, in America.
Oh, maybe. I don't
prep
know.
school. That's or go for like a summer course. Do that.
Yeah, and I'm like, the only thing is I would never, like, for me, if I got out of the school, not that you go to university for anything more than experience and fun, but like if she took a gap year, there's a chance she's never going to go to university, which is fine. But for me, I like the idea of buying yourself some time before you get into the workforce, personally.
What was his idea of a gap year? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, work, make money. Work, make money.
Huh. Full time.
I guess so. Maybe work, maybe do a bit of travel, maybe upgrade a course. You know what I mean?
So I love that he, because that is American. I just learned this too, that's kind of an American thing, because we don't really have, we used to have an OAC year, which was very much the same.
A lot of people do that prep year though, as if they need an extra year to be seen for sports.
Not in Canada too?
No, I mean the States that year that they do is for an extra year for exposure.
We don't really have that here.
He's just like, she's in grade 12. I mean, because she's a December baby.
Yeah, no, this is just, you have a kid going to university. Like, you will say next year, my kid is going to.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
I know.
That's so fucked up.
She's never been away for more than 2 weeks. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be so weird. And I think it's even weirder for me than for like a lot of people we know, because I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So like I can't, like, people go off to university and unpack their bags at a dorm, and they like, I
watched my neighbor come back and forth.
Yeah.
So like, I know when she's home, and I know how busy the house is. And then when I saw them leaving Sunday night, and they were packing up the car because they're in second year and all driving back again. And I was like, there was so much stuff was going back, and they have a house together. Actually,
like my neighbor who lives in their half of my house did it too. I felt like she was home all the time.
Yes.
She also did do a co-op, so she was home more. But it's like, it's so foreign for her, but she doesn't have the guidance of me, who's like, and then you go here. And I don't even know what a university cafeteria looks like. I don't know what a classroom barely looks like.
We did speak
at
at
one.
We
did speak at one. I don't know.
Like how you study at one. Like how do you
study?
Like
where
there are 300 people in a class, and you're supposed to listen.
Do you share a bathroom? Like, do you have someone on your floor who's a little bit older than you that kind of takes care? Like, how do you get in and out of your place? It is as much of a mystery to me that it is to her, which is kind of a weird thing. And obviously, once one does it, I'll have more experience. But I literally cannot imagine.
You're going.
I know it's gonna be a first time for me.
And then you're gonna drop off and be like, bye, and then drive away.
I'll be like, Mark, how do you do this? Like, well, what do you do?
I don't. Honest to God, part of me is,
what's important to have in a dorm? I mean, I'm sure everything's online.
Condoms.
Yeah, it's gonna be
more
really
condoms.
Weird. And then my baby is like, he's like, my sister's gonna be gone. Like, but they do come back often if they're not in another country.
You just did a podcast where you're no longer, you have no room. You're changing the house.
No, I mean, like, little baby will be like, my sister doesn't live here.
Yeah,
for like 4 years.
My little baby, my grade 6.
Yeah, like, he's like, my sister's gonna be gone. And then my other brother, like, he was like, I will have a time when I don't have my siblings here.
She'll be back by the time.
Yeah.
She'll be graduated and be back.
Is that how many years apart they are?
Yep, because Olivia and Chloe are the same.
So Chloe will be done when...
No, Olivia will be done when Chloe starts.
Oh, right.
Sorry, Olivia will be done when Chloe's in high school.
Oh my God. That is so crazy.
I'm like, apparently everyone comes home. Apparently everybody comes back.
Well, maybe Olivia and Taylor can get an apartment.
Yeah? For like $3,200 a month?
No, they'll live where your mom lives. They'll give it to her.
Oh.
Just put that in the budget.
I know that so many people are sitting here listening, being like, yes, I did this. I've done this. You know, it goes back to like when you haven't done it. And it goes back to like, it feels so foreign. And it's like, I can't imagine my kid doing it. But then they go all do it. And I remember looking at our friends with older kids and looking at them like going to parties or like, doing so unfathomable things because it isn't in your world. And they
talk about it like it's so normal.
Well, I said to my kids, because I never wanted them to be so nervous of vaping. They thought if you vaped, you were going to jail. Literally,
like,
when
criminals.
You're just the worst person ever. And I remember they'd be so afraid of the teenagers walking down the sidewalk. They'd be like, oh my God, these teenagers. And I'm never going to be one. I'm like, you are going to be one. And I know they look really scary to you when you're little, but you're going to be one. And I never want them to villainize who they will become, because when they do it and then they realize it's not such a big deal, and then they're like, oh, I can vape, everybody vape, or I can do drugs, everybody does drugs, because that's what you begin to think. Is the cops used to come and be like, this is your brain on drugs, and then they crack the egg, and then you'd see your friends on drugs and you're like, the brain's fine.
Yes,
everything is fine.
I totally remember thinking that. Wait a sec, like I'm watching also Squid Games, and the guy's doing it's sort of like an ecstasy or like a Molly, and he's like, wait, they feel it that fast and they're not dying?
Yeah,
they look like they're having fun. What the, like, this is mixed messaging.
Yeah. Or like if someone's like does drugs and they don't die of fentanyl right away,
right?
Like then they're like, oh,
but you said I was gonna die.
Exactly. So I try to not ever over scare them, because your friends will vape, and you're not gonna be like, I can't be friends with you anymore. And they are going to drink, and you're not going to be like, oh, I can't talk to you. So
my best situation was a couple, a grown-up couple, grandparents that are really respected and like good people, vaped, and my kids
mind blown, or get high.
Oh yeah, because a lot of parents get high.
Yeah, it's marijuana like all the time,
which is legal. It's just like getting drunk.
Yeah, it's so. So whenever I try to talk about it, never try to make anything too big, or like I never try to make anything, I'm really trying to balance everybody's hopes and dreams.
I feel like going away to university feels so scary. But
I just hear how everyone's really trying.
But
like I remember
I act like it's going to be really fun.
Also, I like everyone actually does work. Like when we went to school, everyone's like, I failed, I got 30%. Like I'm like, when we went to school, I don't think people did work. Like I did work, but I don't know if I don't remember people going to university to study.
I remember them talking about it a lot.
Oh, I see. I never remember. I don't recall that. And I was like, now I hear everyone being like, they were 90s in high school and now they're 30s in university. I'm like, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I remember them studying a lot. And I actually remember like people like going on probation. And when you get
in university?
Yes.
For what?
Probation meaning like if next semester or by the end of the semester, if you don't raise your marks, you're kicked out of university.
What the hell? You get kicked out of university?
Yeah.
You pay for that shit.
I know, but you get kicked out if you're failing your programs, I guess.
The biggest piece of advice I wish someone had told me, because when someone says it goes by so fast, it's such bad advice, because you're like, you're usually someone's throwing it down and you're like exhausted and you're like, fuck you, these days are so long. Like you telling me it goes by fast, I know. Grandpa, I heard this. I've heard it goes by fast. It's not that it goes by so fast. It blows your mind that how it sneaks up on you, that the situation you're in. I would say I can remember you and I walking Taylor down the street when she could. I can remember that like yesterday. Did it go by fast? Yes and no. Do I wish I had known that time goes faster as they get older rather than you're going to miss what it was? I kind of wish which I'm glad we're getting the experience now with the kids, because it's a very finite time when you have everyone home at once. And it's a very finite time when you have, and I don't even mean like when your first or your last leave. It's just a very small time when your family is nuclear. And I even mean sports, like even like a family dinner together or like watching a movie together. That time is finite.
And there were so many of them when we were younger, and we were like, oh my gosh, like another night, same fucking Groundhog Day.
And then the train goes and no one asks you, can the train leave? And it just leaves.
And it leaves. My daughter says some really like things that are kind of not her age. And it was last year, and she was telling me, because she had some older friends and they were applying for university, and she's like, oh my God, like my time is running out. And this morning she said to me, I feel like I haven't seen Teddy this week. I come home from dance. He's not home from baseball. He showers, goes to bed. I come down late. She's like, I feel like I haven't seen him this week. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's
like,
how I feel every week.
I know. I was like, by the way, he does come for brief moments, but you're just not in the same part of the house at that time.
Yeah.
And I was like, he actually got home after you, and then you came downstairs. She's like, oh, I mean, I didn't know, but like just realizing that kind of stuff.
And when you have control over your kid's schedule, I think those are things that people don't understand, is that like when they're little, you are in control of what you want. And then I don't know the age when it shifts. I don't know what happens, but all of a sudden it goes like this, and you are now the executor of their schedules.
You know why ski families and cottage families are good? And that's exactly why my in-laws built a house, like a bigger house in the Cape.
Smart.
It's to bring everybody together, because ski families, they spend their weekends together, and they spend their when they go up to the cottage, it's like luring kids into somewhere they really want to be, which forces them to be with the family.
Yeah.
So I can see that. And I was thinking, we know somebody who's just taken her whole family away for a semester, and you can only imagine that she's feeling what we're feeling.
Yeah.
Like it's about to be gone. I need to get them one more time all together, so we can just
be together
before I lose you.
And I listen, losing you sounds so dramatic, because I think that you never really lose them. I think what you lose, though, is the innocence of your family being a family without everybody else's things within your family, relationships, universities, like, because not that they leave, because I really think that that's so morbid to think that everyone just leaves and you're like, oh, but I think what we lose is the selfishness of being a parent and having even though it's a shit show, and even though you're like, oh my God, when is it bedtime? There's just this like innocence of being a mom when your kids are young, and it is consuming, and someone's not working, and you can go for March break together, or you can go for summer break.
It's like when your daughter's like, oh, I'm gonna get a job. I'm like, I don't want you to get a job. I don't want you to be gone.
I know.
Like we barely get to see everybody, and no, don't go. Like, don't go to sleep. Don't go to sleepover camp. Don't go away.
I know.
Just stay right here. And there also is like, there's something we probably don't even realize, but like the purpose that taking care of them gives us. I remember when I sort of gave up some of the roles and responsibilities of parenting
to my husband, it was like a really weird feeling. And I had to sort of get used to being like, okay, I don't have to do everything all the time. Although I really kind of I like when he goes away, because I like the feeling of everything falling on me and then showing myself that I can do it. I'm more responsible. I clean the house more. I do so much more when he's not around. Don't tell him, because I like to be like, I can do this all by myself. Yeah, you play role play.
I play, and I look at myself. I'm like, look at you. Like it's like nobody. It's like the boss isn't there, and you're gonna run the ship better than when the boss is there.
Yeah.
So when they leave and they go off on their own, they make their own money and they have their own schedules and they do their own things. It's like part of your purpose for so many years feels like it's like your job is like you're being demoted because you had such a full role.
Yeah. When they're older or when they're gone?
When they're older, just like they take little things away from you, which is exactly what parenting is. And that's your goal, is to take the little jobs away, and they do them themselves. But sometimes when some of those jobs get taken, you feel them more than just like if they end up doing their laundry, that's a great job to be taken away from you. But the other things like their schedules or like, doing things for them get taken from you without you choosing and wishing them to be gone. And then you're like, oh, it's not my job anymore. Like if they have a relationship, if our sons have the girls, and then the girls are the ones who now like tell them what they should wear or take them shopping.
Do that.
But things like that. It's like, I'm not the one anymore.
I do feel like I missed out on the innocence of Coco, though, because I feel like we always skew to the older ones. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, she's 9, but when the girls were 9, we were doing 9-year-old things. Mm-hmm. And now I feel like I'm doing like 15-year-old things with my 9-year-old. So I miss the innocence of, I think Coco got gypped by not having the innocence of what
Can't say that word.
Oh yeah?
No.
Ripped? Can I say ripped?
Cheated.
Huh. So got ripped.
Yeah, TJ too. Like, are we going to carve a pumpkin?
I know.
Like, you know what though? That's why the
children are so different.
That's why they're different, and that's what makes them. That's what makes you.
I know, but you can't go back. Once you expose them to being 15, you can't bring them back.
No,
like when I say she's in grade 4, I'm like, oh my God, you're only in grade 4. Like you're in grade 4. You're in grade 4.
I know.
Last year she was in grade 3. She was roaming the streets last summer in grade 3 of the summer of grade 4. Do you know how outrageous that is? That's outrageous. Like, I'm like, oh my God, you're only in grade 4.
I know. She should be in grade 7.
I'm like, this is.
And the thing is, it just makes me think like in the world, in like humanity, it's like, I guess humanity is my word today. That's, you have to have firstborns, secondborns, thirdborns. You have to have only children. You have to have twins. You have to have all these different dynamics
to make
it all work, because the thirdborn has nothing in common with the firstborn as far as the way they grew up, the experiences they have.
I don't know. Sometimes when I think of like looking back on like what the fuck we've done, because the let's just say it's been 16 years or 15 and a half years. That time was like just like it did go by fast. And I'm not going to warn anyone, because you all will know it's not terrible. It's great. But I never knew the schedules. I never knew that it shifted so much that you become, it's like the tables shift and you don't know when. And it just shifts, and it shifts for the whole family, not just because one starts. The minute the oldest one starts shifting, everything shifts, because you lose the micro of what you had.
It's like they were your passengers now, and now you're the passenger, and they're just driving.
Even though the 9-year-old should still be in bed at 7:30 or 8:30, and now it's just that whole shift, and it's like the whole family does it.
Yeah,
and you're like, whoa, like we're just shifted. And that to me is something that, not that you need to be warned about, it's just you can't know till you're there. And then you're there and you're like, oh. And then your 40s are spent driving. 37 to 45 is spent driving. And you're like, where someone's like, I haven't seen you in so long. And I'm like, if you're not really on my street, like one of our friends, I can't pre-plan. And I'm like, I go, when... her kid's in house league hockey too, but so much hockey. And I'm like, when's your schedule? She's like, I have games Friday night. We don't get home till like 9. I'm like, all of us trying to organize around the kids' schedule.
I think the only way you can do it
is if you have a neighbor.
No,
last minute.
If you put it in a calendar, because then if you put things in a calendar, you're gonna work your things around it. It's like when we have put out our Toronto show, December to Remember, a year in advance. Put it in your calendar. Then you will move things around, or you'll know on that night if the kid
can't do it.
Ends up having a hockey game. You need the carpool.
I think it's more that there's like 6 or 8 of us that are trying to get together, and the 6 or 8, it's either a turn, like it's like 6 or 8. It's like it's kind of like not all of us can go together. So if you're a husband or a wife is available, just come, because we're not going to get at this phase in life.
It can't be a couples thing. It has to be all the girls. Like for me, I'm always going to, like, we have like 8 girls. We put it in the calendar, but there's always spouses on the other side to take care of them. It's like couples can't do it.
That's the thing.
Although so many couples seem like they do it.
I think they have drivers, or their kids are at boarding school, or they don't have the kids in sports yet. You know what I mean? I think they have the kids that are like locked and loaded. I don't know. Listen, it's not terrible. It's amazing. It's just different. And no one warns you. Everyone's like, no one warned me. I'm like, you can't be warned. No one can be warned. You're just going to find out yourself. And that's not terrible, because that's how we all learn. And then you're going to advise someone else. Oh my God, get ready. Get ready. It goes by fast. I fucking hate that. I hate that.
Get ready. It goes by so fast.
When you see, oh, get ready. Like when you have a baby, that's every 2 seconds.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Get ready. It goes by so fast.
I counted the minutes.
Yeah,
till bedtime.
You're like, when?
The seconds.
When does it start getting faster? Can you let me know when it starts getting faster?
Well, the crazy thing is that our kids now are noticing it, which I find weird. I feel like they're too young to notice. Like
how fast it's going?
All of them said from like September to December, they're like, that was so fast. I'm like, time isn't going faster.
They would say they're just overscheduled.
I guess so.
Because there's not enough time to be bored. Because when they're bored, time goes by very slow.
Surely is no time to be bored.
And maybe that's the problem. But then they're annoying when they're bored. So it's a really catch-22. They're great when they're busy. When they're bored, you're like, get the fuck out of the house.
Oh my God.
You need to do something with your life. It's such a mind fuck. It's a mind fuck. Anyways, let us know what you guys are struggling with. I know that if you have a kid in transition to kindergarten, to grade 7, to grade 9, to getting a boyfriend, to getting a girlfriend, and you feel so overwhelmed by the process, all of us do when we're in transition, because if you haven't done it, you're going to feel like, what the hell? It's going to feel so overwhelming.
I'm going to have 2 transitions next year.
Oh, yeah.
The year after next year.
Yeah, not next year. You're good next year.
Do you have any transitions at the same time?
No.
Perfect. Then we can support my transitions.
No. I'm good. I'm locked and loaded for a few years.
I feel like one of the transitions is going to be really small.
My oldest?
No, my youngest. His transition year.
Oh,
Right?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
Right?
His mom's not going to drive him and pick him up every day.
Oh my God.
yes, she
His
will.
brother will take him.
Yes, she will.
His brother will take him.
She'll-
You'll take him. We'll take him together.
Yeah, and Natalie will be like, TJ, it's your mom. Come give me a kiss.
I'll bring him to your house and you'll take him
Yeah,
with
because
me.
you'll have nowhere to go.
We'll just drive them to school like two really sad ladies.
Yeah, well, I'll have a car full. Don't you worry about that. My oldest one has found a way to. Oh, she can drive them.
Oh my God, perfect.
Yeah, just got to get her a car.
Oh,
no big deal.
Someone
Just
will
get
give
it.
her one. Doesn't your mom have a couple?
She's fairly certain she's going to get a car too. And I'm like, you are the things you think. I wish we all. Okay, Olivia.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And it probably, you know what? Mark my fucking words. It will happen to you. If she wants it, she will get it. That's a kid. If she wants it, she'll get it. She might steal it. I don't know if it's going to come legally, but she will. Joking, I love you, but she will get it.
Or she's more realistic about everything.
And lying.
No, in realistic and knowing about
I mean, she thinks she's going to get
What
a
she
pink
can
wrapped
get.
Mini Cooper with
that could be going a little far.
yeah, and a penthouse over Central Park
Yeah,
in New York.
she'd have to get that herself. The other thing,
no, she thinks that's happening while she's in university.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she was talking about maybe selling her feet on.
I told her to sell her fingers.
Oh, there you go, on OnlyFans. She's like, people are
What
making a
deal.
ton of money.
Yeah,
And I was like, she's like, would that get me in trouble? I was like, I don't think this is a good.
I do think it's a good idea.
It's not a good idea.
It's not. It doesn't need to be sexual. Some people just love beautiful feet
You're just gonna put.
up their butts.
You think that you could just put your foot on there and make $100,000?
Are her feet as good as her fingers?
I mean,
I don't know that about her
I
toes.
don't know what people are looking for in sexy toes.
That's right.
What are sexy toes? I
Right.
have
They come.
not a clue.
Everyone's got a different perception of sexy.
Yeah, and what are sexy fingers? Like what? You're just like wiggling your fingers, and people are gonna send you things. Fun
I
fact:
think it has to be more of a model.
once
hand.
upon a time, someone worked with us, and this guy would just ask her for feet pictures. They'd never met, and he would Venmo her right away
I would have
before she got the pictures. And I'm thinking like, what? $100
$50.
$50.
Yeah. I would
Just
have,
for feet.
I would have seen how many times he would have sent it. I would have definitely abused that relationship.
I mean, she got a lot one weekend we were
Yeah.
there, and it was like a negotiation. I mean, what's abuse? Maybe he loves it.
That is so weird.
Dude. So maybe she's
I even
onto
s-
something.
I sold mine to him.
I know, but he doesn't. Nobody knows that. You just told your secret that you sold your feet.
I
to the
did
guy,
for $50.
and you gave it to her.
Yeah, and he gave it to her.
Like you gave it to her. Like you didn't
Yeah.
take your 50. You're like, I'll get you an extra 50.
So
Yeah, you've sold your feet.
Mhm.
Oh my God, what a bucket list item! You've sold a foot picture.
I think I only sold it because he liked the agent.
Oh, you don't think you actually have foot clout?
I'm not sure.
How do you find out?
Oh, well, I do have really long toes.
Is that why you can't show your dogs on the internet? Because people will take it and find it a fetish? Like you have to hide them so people can't sell them?
I feel like people don't like the most beautiful feet. I think they like weird
Dirty feet.
No, oh, probably.
Nasty feet.
I think long toes.
Could I sell Bo's toes? The dog's toes?
Just dogs have toes?
Yeah, she got, yes. Yeah, I don't know.
Don't they have paws and claws?
Paws and claws. And they have fingers.
They do not have fingers.
Yes, they do.
They do not have fingers.
Yes, they do. They're called something. They've got something. Yeah, they do.
Digits?
Yeah, because one person I know got it
Can
removed.
play the piano?
No, got it removed. Like they've got like 5, like they've got nubs. Yeah, they got nubs.
Why? What happened?
It had a skin infection, died of cancer eventually.
Is there a difference between fingers and toes on dogs?
No, they got nubs. They got like things on them.
No, like that dog.
Yeah, she's got things. You can feel it. One little, you could paint her nails, and then that's her
Yeah,
nub.
she's got claws and paws.
She's got nubs.
Paws and claws?
I don't know. I think I'm looking to make money off my dog. This is a thing. It came into my feed. I'm thinking I need it. Why can't I sell her? I don't mean sell her on the market. I mean sponsorships.
Yeah, you can. Our dogs have 7,000 followers.
Maybe I need to go and like restart that.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of content you put out
I
there.
don't think it matters.
They just want to follow a dog.
Yeah.
Like I could just be like, cute. Look at me, cute today.
Yeah.
Because they're so cute.
They're so cute. It's disgusting.
Like I can make cute videos.
Yeah, I guess if that's what you want to do with your
Dude,
life.
$50,000 a month on dog
Mhm.
content.
I think they work really hard. I've heard that
She doesn't even talk.
dog influencers work really hard and their parents. They're sort of like,
I'm sorry. You're telling me dog
Yes.
influencers work you could bank all the content in one day. They don't even have to change outfits.
That would be like someone telling you that you could bank everything in one day.
No, we'd have to change outfits and our hair and stuff.
No, it has to be authentic, Catherine.
What's the dog like has to turn their head funny?
No, people see
I'm gonna look
through it.
into this. I'm gonna get some. That dog business is huge.
Okay.
The brush I use, food I'm feeding her. You see the before. I'm gonna get a before and after.
Why doesn't Tess come live with you and do it too?
Because
do you think it's more charming best friends?
Yes, I do. But my dog's got
but my dog could live here.
Yeah, but you're not gonna take pictures of your dog.
I mean, I have a lot of pictures of my dog.
No, like video. But you just told me how hard it is
to take. No, for the influencers, probably.
Are you gonna do this?
I mean, I could.
Are you going to?
I could do it every night. Let's start doing it. They're so cute. And anyways,
I'm gonna look at sponsorships because, honest to God, you could get a few, and making.
We also take a picture of our dog every time we walk it to prove that we walked it.
We do. Oh, you guys do.
If anyone walks it, there's always a photo of it being walked.
I mean, that's great. What kind of leash is it? Is there a special? Oh, the like glow up ones.
Yeah.
So excited. I'm gonna start looking into this.
Okay.
She's quite lazy. I'm gonna have to get her to do some more things.
No, she can be lazy. Her friend will be the wild one. That's what makes them a good pair.
That's perfect.
You know what I mean? Circus dog. And my cousin said that I could teach my dog circus tricks, no problem.
Wow, we just really went full circle. Because you know what? If we're gonna lose all of our kids to grow up, we might as well just invest in dogs. Keep this brand going.
The thing is, dogs don't last as
Get
long.
another one.
Puppies
Sell so much.
Puppies.
Obviously, ones that are in good, not like a mill, like good.
Yeah,
like,
we got good ones.
Yeah, like adopted. Like we adopt them.
Oh,
and rescue.
from puppies.
Yeah,
we got to make sure they don't have anything weird though.
Yeah, they don't. Anyways, wow, that really went off the rail. But I was thinking if they're going to grow up, might as well get into the next business. Dogs.
OnlyFans,
and
dogs.
Feet. Dogs and feet. There's got to be something.
Does your mouth feel weird after lunch?
You had more quinoa than me.
Is quinoa weird?
Actually does. It feels coated.
Yeah, like it feels weird. It feels a bit numb.
What? Oh, it's the jalapenos. Mine was spicy and hot.
Me too.
Yeah, you like that.
I put them in.
Holy shit, gotta go.